Hello, everyone. This is Mahlena Ray Johnson For Nerdy Girls with Mahlena Ray Johnson. That's me. Today's topic is, am I the only one? So first, who am I? Again, I'm Mahlena, and I went to Loyola Marymount University for film school. Then I went to the University of Southern California for business school, where I got my MBA in marketing, entertainment, and entrepreneurship. And over the past 10 years, I have done hundreds of informational interviews and coffee chats with people and phone calls. I've also attended hundreds of mixers and conferences. So I am immensely qualified to help you make friends in business, or as some people have told me to specify, connect with colleagues, future clients, coworkers, and future bosses and partners in your field, your industry, your milieu. So let's talk about, am I the only one? So I'm going to explain what to do when you're the first trailblazer in your industry. 1, be honest with yourself. 2, tell other people who you are and what you want. And 3, make a friend. All right, so I will start with my own story of what is happening with me right now. It is April 3rd, 2018, and this weekend, this Saturday specifically, I finished the first draft of my 4th book, Love It a Luau. Woo! So of course I was supposed to just take a nap and enjoy that, but I did not, because I'm just a little busy bee, and I wanted to take the next step, which is, well, I'm not working on the actual content of the book right now. I have it sent off to a friend to read to make sure that if something doesn't make sense, that I can add sentences to the book and figure out how to make it legible. So it is a minimum viable product, and this is something else that I wanted to tell you, that this, when I wrote my first book, I was definitely very precious with it. I wanted to make sure it had everything, and everything was explained, and someone that liked something, then I was like, oh, I gotta fix that. Now having gone through 3 books and going to my 4th book, the biggest thing for me is just getting it out. So I want to get this out into the world and then go on to the next thing, because a lot of what I had been taught in school was make sure that you get everything right and make sure that there are no typos and that everything makes sense and there's an act and development. And really, when I did some research on Amazon books and how to make them successful, i.e. get people to buy them, there are people writing a book every 30 to 90 days, which that's not how I live my life. I like to take more time with a story than that. But the thing that I want to convey is that I don't need to make it the most perfect book in the world. I just need to get it out there and move on to the next one and make that one even better. So there's that. That's why I'm not going over the words right now. What I am doing is figuring out how to make it great on Amazon. This comes back to the topic, am I the only one? So when I went to look at other comparable books, my 4th book is Love It a Luau. It's a romance novel about a refugee suffering from PTSD who is scared to fall in love with a single dad. I figured I could find another romance novel like that on Amazon, as there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of romance novels in existence today. What I found was that there are things that are kind of related. So I'll tell you the specifics of the categories it's in. I wanted to put it in multicultural and interracial, under Kindle, and romantic comedy. It is also a contemporary romance, but it is not African American, and there are not other demographics really represented other than African American, presumably because white is the default. But there isn't a whole category for Asian. There isn't a whole category for Pacific Islander. There isn't a whole category for Latinx, and that's when I started to realize, after going through books and descriptions and trying to figure out what phrasing to put in my description for my book, that my book is going to be on its own. It's definitely going to fit into categories like multicultural and interracial romance. Most of those happen to be Black woman, white man for some reason, and it's going to be under romantic comedy. But I didn't find many books that were multicultural romantic comedies, much less anything having to do with Latinas or Asian Pacific Islanders. And it was like, oh my gosh, my book is really going to be the one and only on Amazon. So I figured out how to make the description and use all the keywords necessary for someone who would be looking for stuff that I'm writing, like geeky and nerdy and Hawaii and romance and Kindle and comedy, happily ever after, happy ending, all those keywords. But as I continued, I made a description, which I posted on my Facebook page. The thing that I kept realizing is that not only is it's not something that I intended to go out and do and be like, yes, I'm going to be the first Chicana, Latinx, Asian Pacific Islander, multicultural romantic comedy romance novel on Amazon. That's not what I want to do. I just wanted to tell a story that I thought was fun and something that is not out there. And I really didn't realize how much it's not out there, like how difficult it is for books to get made that perceive the world as people just happen to live together and they don't have to fit in a box. And my book doesn't really fit neatly into a box. There are geeky aspects, there are multicultural aspects, there are humorous aspects. It's mostly funny. But it's hard when you don't fit into that box of this is where you go and that's it. So for people who feel that way about themselves, I have 3 things to share with you. 1, be honest with yourself. I had to be honest with myself and say that as I was figuring out how to position the book on Amazon to sell it, that I didn't lose what made the book special in the description. I still stuck with what's actually in the book, what's important to the story. The important part of the story isn't that it's an interracial romance, which always gets me all squicky because it feels gross. It is multicultural because there's a lot of cultures represented in the book. And it is comedic. It's definitely funny, and there are nerdy aspects, but just because those labels are what Amazon puts out there doesn't mean that that's who my book is, or that's the only people the book is for. The book is for whoever wants to read it mostly, but it's for people who enjoy romance and enjoy comedy and enjoy me. All right, so I wanted to be honest with myself and say, even though I don't necessarily fit into a box like Amazon wants to put my book in, it's still okay to tell my story in the way that I want it, just include the keywords. So I want you to be honest with yourself about who you are, even if you don't fit into a box like you see other people, or you perceive other people be fitting into these boxes, and definitely know where to go. This pertains a lot to actors as well, who don't necessarily fit into the box of what other people want to put them in. You need to know who you are and bring that to whatever you do. 2, tell people who you are and what you want. So despite my obsession with research on Amazon, looking for the best books to emulate and use the same sort of phrasing, I just told people on Facebook, this is what I wrote, this is my cover, this is who I am, and they're excited about it, and they're happy, and telling people why I wrote the book is also important, and telling people the difficulty that I'm having with figuring out how it fits in is also important, because I know that there are other people out there who may be Hispanic or Latinx or Chicana, and maybe Asian or Pacific Islander, or both, or some combination, or maybe neither, and they're having trouble fitting in because they don't have a story that reflects them. There are lots of people who are in various relationships. They might be in a relationship with someone who comes from right next door. They're the exact same ethnicity and religion and color and background and all this stuff, but they're not being represented. Especially like if you're a Chinese Trinidadian or a Chinese Jamaican person, you don't get to see your story on screen ever. It's like, oh, those people exist? Yeah, they do. Okay, so I like to tell people who I am and what they want and what I want, even if it doesn't necessarily fit the mold of what has already been done. 3, make a friend. So during this journey, I have told people that I'm writing this book and what I'm inspired by. I'm telling people who I am and what I want, but I've also made friends along the way. So some of the other people that I've made friends with have written books. Some of them want to write books. Some of them like to read books. Some of them are not really into books, but they like me. So I want you to stay encouraged, even though there are places you might feel like you don't fit in, especially in networking. It can be very stressful when you don't see someone who you think reflects your background or your values or even your your choice of attire. It can be really hard to feel like I really want to fit in, but I don't. Instead of focusing on the fact that you don't fit into the box that you think that you should fit in based on what other people look like, try connecting with people just on who they are, and you can definitely feel your feelings about not fitting in. I've felt those all the time, but as you're not fitting in, there are other people who feel like they don't fit in either. You can go talk to them, or you can just talk to whomever you want to talk to. Don't be so self-conscious, because as I tell people, Mahlena, for rule number 4, Mahlena's Guide to Life, nobody cares what you're doing. Everyone is really concerned about themselves. They may have like, ooh, or they might just be happy to see you. So focus on being honest with yourself, telling other people who you are and what you want in a polite manner, and making a friend, because making a friend makes all those anxieties fall away about I don't know if I fit in, I don't know if I'm the right person, I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense in this context. All that just goes away once you have made a solid connection with another person or multiple people in your room or in your group or wherever you are. So I would like to invite you to leave a comment if you're on Facebook. If you're watching this video off of Facebook, please email me at fornerdygirls@gmail.com with your comments. And again, I haven't been posting as much as I should, but there's a post that should be coming up on the Facebook page that says networking session for people who want to figure out how to become better networkers. It is a networking strategy session where we're going to have a breakthrough in 30 minutes about how you can make a plan that is strategic for you to go out and meet people. So if you want to spend 30 minutes with me having a directed coaching session about how you can become a better networker and increase your connection with clients, potential colleagues and coworkers, and awesome people to partner with, then email me at fornerdygirls@gmail.com so we can book your complimentary networking strategy session. And if you don't know what to expect, email me anyway and say, I don't know what to expect. It sounds cool, but what is this stuff? Just email me at fornerdygirls@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.